India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will pay an official visit to Sri Lanka on Friday, during which he will meet with country's newly elected leadership. Dr. S. Jaishankar will meet President Anura Kumara Dissanayake and Prime Minister Harini Amarasuriya. He is also expected to have discussions with his counterpart, Vijitha Herath. Now, the visit underlines the shared commitment of India and Sri Lanka to further deepen the long-standing partnership for mutual benefit. It reaffirmed India's commitment to its neighbourhood-first policy and the saga that is security and growth for all in the region outlook. This visit marks the first ever visit by any foreign minister after President Dissanayake assumed office following the country's recent presidential elections. All right, Dr. Ahmed Moin Farooqi joins us from Colombo. Ahmed, good morning. Get us more as to what is on the agenda. This visit is of importance because this is the first visit by the Foreign Minister of India to Sri Lanka, wherein the new regime has taken office. Get us more as to what all can be expected on the agenda.
Good morning, Preeti. Yes, it's not just the first visit of India's External Affairs Minister. It's in fact the first visit by any visiting Foreign Affairs Minister to Sri Lanka after the new government has taken charge. Now, this is a very, critical moment for Sri Lanka as it carves its way out of the economic crisis and it goes ahead with regard to first democratically elected president and government. Now, frankly speaking, India and Sri Lanka bilateral relations have been on a very positive kind of a trajectory, especially under the neighborhood first policy. It was also in action, put in action when Sri Lanka faced the peak of the economic crisis, when India provided humanitarian assistance, which was unprecedented in terms of the scale as well as the quickness with which it was executed and provided for. Now, what is understandable here is that India-Sri Lanka relations will continue to be in the same trajectory that have been over the last 10 years, and even more so with the new government in place. What I have heard so far is that the new government is very keen to work together with India because they have recognized India as a very strategic partner, and that's what even President Dissanayake had mentioned in his inaugural address after he had assumed charge. Now, this is something which is very positive because if we look at the region itself, the Indian Ocean region is something in which huge number of shipments they cross across from the Indian Ocean from one side of the hemisphere to the other side. Now, frankly speaking, this is a very significant region where India has talked several times about the regional security, and this is where India and Sri Lanka will collaborate together on various sectors, including regional security. And probably this is an opportune time when the new government is in place in India and the new government is there in Sri Lanka. They will have discussions how to go ahead with the next 5 years, and probably a roadmap will be also discussed. Although this is still going to be a very short visit by the External Affairs Minister, but quite a lot of discussions are expected because it's of course the new government, and people are hoping that some sort of shape will be given to the India-Sri Lanka bilateral relations over the next 5 years. Preeti.
All right, Ahmed, now this is for the first time that Sri Lanka has got a left president. But before the presidential elections also, he had visited India when he met the External Affairs Minister and also the National Security Advisor, Ajit Doval. Put all this together, let us get more from you. How do we expect the relationship to further strengthen, given the concerns India has repeatedly put forward of Sri Lankan airspace and water bodies being used, by China? Put all this together, what is the stance that India looks forward to from Sri Lanka's new presidency?
Preeti, first of all, yes, you're right. India is very serious when it talks about regional security, and whenever the question comes up on use of Sri Lanka's exclusive economic zone, primarily if you talk about the waters, here Sri Lanka had placed a moratorium on visit of any foreign research vessels within the waters, within the exclusive economic zone of Sri Lanka, as well as to its ports. Now that has been enforced, which will be enforced till December this year. Now, apart from this, if we talk about President Disanayake's visit to India earlier this year, he had visited as part of Parliamentary Friendship Association, and that was a visit that was something which was an eye-opener for him as well. He had a visit to various Indian establishments like Amol, basically understanding the Indian cooperatives, and he it was a peek into how the Indian model could have a positive impact for Sri Lanka as well. And today's visit is something which probably will go in the same continuity with regard to what had happened earlier this year. The meeting of Dr. Jaishankar with President Desanayake will probably continue where they had left in February this year. Now, this is something which is very positive. However, I would also like to say, although this is the first time that a leftist government is in place, but they have also always mentioned that they will look into how to work together with India for sharing for the shared mutual benefits, and they have reiterated several times that the Indian interests will be paramount for even Sri Lanka as well. In fact, when the High Commissioner of India, Mr. Santosh Jha, he had met President Desanayake on 2 occasions already so far. The same thing was discussed between them, and it was highlighted and it was brought out by the President Desanayake. And something similar is expected even in today's meetings as well.
All right, Emma, thank you for joining in with those details.